This is a Beneteau Antares 12. It's a 2007 boat, and I think the first thing to say about it is what a great looking boat it is. I love the way that the bow is so flared, the way that it comes down with this lovely swoop down to the transom. I think that looks fantastic. Stainless steel around the windows as well looks good. It's a nice looking boat. And with this, the Antares range are very much their sort of sports leisure fishing boats. So they've gone for almost a sports fisher style feel to this, and it works well. Let's go and take a look on board and I'll show you what it's all about. One thing to mention actually is this door, because rather than just hinging like they normally do, look how they put this on this sort of cantilever so it opens and closes like this. That's rather nice. And then inside, very much on the sports fishing theme. They've left the cockpit completely open, so when you've got all this canopy off, you can fish uninterrupted off the back of the boat. Now of course you could put seating in here if you wanted it, but this is very much of the genre. And you can see these little fellas here, supports for rod holders around. So very much the sports fisher theme. Let's go and take a look inside, because actually, despite that, it has got pretty good accommodation as well. Starting with the main saloon in here. They've gone for quite light wood in here, which looks great. And those windows are a nice size as well. They throw plenty of light into here. Now what they've done with this is they've put the galley up here. So if we open this, you'll see that the sink is underneath here. I'll pop that up like that. The hob is underneath here, and actually there is an oven as well. It's a microwave, and that lives just there. What else have we got? Things like the cutlery drawer in here as well, even a waste bin, so that's very practical. Let's drop that one back down and have a quick look in these, because I'm guessing one of these will be a fridge, but it isn't that one. But it is that one. There we go. And opposite this then is the saloon area. So this is where you can sit and chat and eat. And that's rather nice. And ahead of it, of course, is the helm. So double helm here, and all the instrumentation is up. Ahead of you, there's a Raymarine E120 screen on here, like so. And then also that fellow there is your autopilot, and your VHF radio is ahead of it. This is your throttle controls, and there's a bow thruster on this one as well. And then if we go on down from here, because they've put the galley up in the saloon, it means that everything on the lower deck is accommodation, and for a 12-metre boat, it's pretty impressive. So there's a passageway down through. Right at the front then is the master cabin. Again, that light wood just brightens the whole thing up. I think it's great. What have we got? There's storage in places like this, which is pretty good size. TV in here. This is storage up in behind, like so. And around that side, and there's a big wardrobe as well, of course, but there's also massive drawers I found under the bed, so you're not short of places to put things. People often talk about the floor creaking, and the reason the floor creaks, I'm just going to mention this because we're in here, it's because all of these are lift out panels so that you can access the bilges. So things like the bow thruster is in there and other bits and pieces. That is why sometimes the floor creaks a bit as you walk on it, because there are lift out sections that's exactly the same. This has an ensuite, pretty good size, and a nice sink in there, and then the shower is separate. So if we go back here, this opens, and that's your shower cubicle. That's rather nice, isn't it? Close that back up. There we go. So that's the ensuite for the master cabin. And if we come back out of here then, there's another cabin here. And that also has a double bed. And that runs back underneath there. And again, storage in places like this, but interestingly, this one also has its own ensuite. So at night, you've got two completely separate self-contained areas. And again, this one has the shower. That's what this little fella here is. That pulls out like so, and it will clip in up there. And that's like a wet room, so that drains. So two pretty decent cabins, really. Let's Can I have a look at the deck spaces? So back out through here. Someone's going to ask what those hinges are for. Well, that is because the engines are under here. And if we push the little catch under there, that lifts up. We can't see them very well at the moment, but those are engines in there. We'll come back to those. There's a better way in than that, but it just allows you to get to the front of them, basically. Let's pop that down and clip it closed again. Switch panel is on the side, so battery switches. Generator on here as well, that's interesting. So that's controlled there. In fact, I've got a feeling it's got air conditioning on this one. I think I saw a control for it. Let's have a look. Yeah, here we go. SMX air conditioning with the vents just here. Lovely. Excellent. Let's go and look at the outside. So I think we will take a turn around the decks first of all. Put the old shoes back on. Marianne tells me off for the way I put these shoes on because I do that because I can't be bothered to do it properly. You'll break the back of them shoes. She doesn't really speak like that. She speaks the soft Irish lilt. That's what she speaks with. Which is lovely. Good. Let's wander around the side. Nice, decent side decks on this actually. And look, they've got the wooden capping on them as well, which is nice. What's in here? Ah, that is your fuel filler. And it looks like a water outlet as well. And that's the waste outlet just there. Lovely decks on this actually, really nice to walk around. And up here you can see it's got all the clips so you can put sunbathing cushions on here. And then right up to the front, that flared bow makes for a really nice big foredeck area. And a tractor. You don't often see a tractor parked in front of a boat, do you? There it is. They use that for moving these around on the trailers, you see. On the smaller boats, not on this size boat of course. That won't go on a trailer. Good looking boat. Let's wander back down and take a look at the flybridge. That is a great boat to move around on, I have to say. The steps here make it really easy to walk back into the cockpit. Zip that one back up. And these then lead us up to the flybridge. Now again, very much the sports fisher theme with putting the helm right at the back, and the reason they do that is because when you've got the canopies off, it's easy for the people at helm to talk to the guys fishing at the back of the boat. So very much a sports fisher feature. But actually it works well because it means when you're sat at the helm and you've got other people here, they're ahead of you, you can chat to them, they're not behind you. What they've done with this is they've put seating in across as you can see, but what you can do with this is these hinge across, like so that you can make this all one great big sunbathing area. That would be lovely when you're cruising along down the coast. Very nice indeed. And then from here, of course, we can see out onto the foredeck where we were a second ago. Fantastic. Let's see if we can find some engines. So we can back down these steps. And then the engines. In fact, before we get to the engines, people are going to ask what's in here. This is just huge storage points. You can see those are the canopies for the flybridge in there at the moment. Now the engines themselves are underneath the saloon floor and they're accessed just here. So if we open that one up, there we go. Those are the motors. Now I can tell you that these are a pair of Volvo D6 370 horsepower engines. Nice big engines, 5.5 litres each, turbocharged, shaft drive. You can see the shafts at the back there. Very nice indeed. They're going to give the boat probably about 25 knots, I would have thought, flat out, cruising at 20, and probably about 250 miles of range. But a nice get-outable engine room. You can see the shafts down here coming out the back of the engines, well, out the back of the gearboxes, I should say, because the gearboxes are on the back of the engines. See it perhaps better on that side. Superb. Let's drop that one back down. And I think we will finish off up at the helm. So there we go, Beneteau Antares 12, an intriguing boat, great looking boat, and a very purposeful feeling boat as well. Hope you've enjoyed that tour. Huge thanks to you guys for watching, and thank you as well to boats.co.uk, because they've organised this tour for me. So I'll put a link to those guys in the description. We'll catch you on another one very soon. Take care, bye bye.